Michael Consuelos stood on the rooftop of his modest apartment building in Brooklyn, the June 2nd, 2026, evening breeze carrying the distant hum of the city that had raised him. 29 years old today. The skyline glittered like scattered diamonds against the deepening twilight, but his eyes lingered on the horizon where Manhattan's towers pierced the clouds. Somewhere over there, his parents were probably filming segments or rehearsing lines, their lives still a whirlwind of cameras and applause. He had grown up inside that whirlwind, yet tonight, the only sound he wanted was the quiet scratch of his pen against paper. He pulled out a worn notebook from his back pocket, the same one he'd carried since his final year at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. The cover was frayed, pages filled with half-finished scripts, character sketches, and late-night confessions. Writing and directing had become his private rebellion. Acting was the family business, but storytelling behind the camera felt like claiming his own name. Michael was born on June 2nd, 1997, in New York City, the eldest son of Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. From the very first breath, the spotlight found him. His parents, already television royalty, had met on the set of All My Children. Their chemistry had been instant, their marriage a fairy tale played out in front of millions. Michael's childhood was a strange blend of normalcy and unreality. Family dinners interrupted by autograph requests, school plays where teachers tried and failed not to stare at his famous last name. He remembered the first time he truly understood his parents' fame. He was 8, sitting in the audience of Live, with Kelly and Mark, watching his mother command the stage with effortless warmth and his father deliver lines with that signature charm. After the show, fans swarmed them. A little girl had looked at Michael and asked, "Are you famous too?" He had shaken his head, confused. "I'm just Michael." But the world never let him be just Michael for long. By high school, the comparisons to his father were constant. The same sharp jawline, the same intense dark eyes, the same easy smile that could light up a room or disarm a critic. Michael grew tall and lean, inheriting his father's effortless athleticism and his mother's quick wit. He played basketball, wrote short stories in secret, and occasionally visited sets where his parents worked. The scent of makeup, the buzz of lights, the controlled chaos of a television production, these things felt like home. Yet, he was never reckless with the privilege. His parents instilled in him a strong moral compass. Kelly often said he was the kindest person she knew. Mark taught him the value of discipline and humility. Michael listened. He watched other celebrity kids spiral and quietly decided that path wasn't for him. In 2016, Michael enrolled at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, majoring in film and television production. College became his sanctuary. For the first time, he wasn't primarily Kelly and Mark's son. He was Michael Consuelos, the kid who showed up early to class, stayed late in editing bays, and collaborated on student films that explored quiet stories of identity and family. The pandemic hit during his final year. Graduation in 2020 was not the grand ceremony he had imagined. No crowded auditorium, no proud parents snapping photos in the front row. Instead, it was a virtual event watched from the family living room. Kelly had cried on air during Live, with Kelly and Ryan telling the world how her firstborn had handled the disappointment with grace. This kid, she had posted on Instagram stories with a photo of Michael in his cap and gown, makeshift in their apartment. #NYU number 2020. Michael remembered her words on the show. He's one of these very uniquely special kids. He's just been kind his entire life. He said, "Well, it's not a big deal. As long as I still get my degree, it's fine." They had planned a trip to Europe to celebrate, but it was delayed until the summer of 2021. When they finally went, Michael soaked in every museum, every cobblestone street, every quiet conversation with his father over espresso. Those weeks solidified something in him. He wanted to create, not just perform. His acting career had begun modestly. In 2018, he landed a small role in Riverdale. The CW show was already a phenomenon, and stepping onto that set felt surreal. Then, in 2021, the producers offered him something bigger, playing a young version of his father's character, Hiram Lodge. Working opposite Mark was electric. The resemblance was uncanny. Fans did double takes, flooding social media with side-by-side photos. On set, the father-son duo slipped into their roles with surprising ease. Between takes, they joked about the irony. "Working on Riverdale was a bucket list moment for me," Michael later told People. "Acting opposite my dad was such a surreal experience, but we both had the best time." One evening after a long shoot, Mark had looked at his son with unmistakable pride. "You're not just playing Hiram, you're making him your own." That night, Michael had raided his dad's closet again, something that had become a running family joke. Mark's style was impeccable: tailored jackets, crisp shirts, that effortless cool. Michael would borrow pieces when his father was away filming in Vancouver. "My dad has a cool closet," Michael admitted in a 2022 interview. "I often raid it. He always notices." Kelly had commented on one of Michael's Riverdale set photos with a laughing son. "Is that you?" The resemblance, the shared clothes, the shared craft, it all wove them closer. After Riverdale, Michael appeared in the 2022 television movie Let's Get Physical and the 2023 Project Dissocia. Each role taught him something new about vulnerability on camera. But acting, while fulfilling, never quite satisfied the deeper itch. He wanted to write, to direct, to tell stories that reflected the strange beauty of growing up in the shadow of fame without being consumed by it. Michael closed his notebook on the rooftop and headed downstairs. His phone buzzed, messages from family. Lola had sent a voice note, her voice bright and melodic. At 25, she was carving out her own music career. Michael had always supported her. As kids, her constant singing used to annoy him, but even then he knew she was gifted. "I'm insanely talented and you could never do it," he'd tease her now, echoing the words he'd once given in an interview. Joaquin, 23, had just made his Broadway debut in Death of a Salesman back in March. Michael had been there opening night, watching his little brother command the stage with raw power. "I've never been prouder," he had posted on his Instagram stories. Joaquin was a powerhouse. The three siblings were tight. Despite the fame surrounding them, they protected each other fiercely. Michael, as the eldest, felt a quiet responsibility to lead by example, to show that you could be a Nepo baby and still earn your place through hard work and integrity. He arrived at his parents' apartment the next morning for a family brunch. The space was warm and chaotic, filled with photos of the kids through the years. Kelly hugged him tightly, smelling of coffee and perfume. Mark clapped him on the back, already teasing him about his latest script. "You finished that new draft yet?" Mark asked. "Almost. It's about a guy trying to step out of his father's shadow without losing the love." Kelly's eyes softened. "Sounds familiar." They talked for hours. About Lola's upcoming single, Joaquin's next audition, Michael's quiet desire to direct his first short film. No one mentioned the pressures of fame. They didn't need to. This was their normal. Later that week, Michael visited the old Riverdale set for a reunion event. Walking through the familiar hallways brought memories rushing back. The nerves of his first big scene with his dad. The laughter in the makeup trailer. The quiet pride he felt when crew members told him he had the gene.